Hi, well, you've heard about leathers and you've heard about CE marking, I'm sure. And I'm on the Crowtree stand. You've probably heard of Crowtree as well. And I have with me Alec Bournbon, who is the owner of Crowtree Leathers. Alec, tell me a little bit about your leathers in particular and CE marking.
Well, the leathers are actually made, all handmade, made to measure, to the highest spec, to Dr. Woods' CE marking. Been through all the testing with Woods at Cambridge. And they're made to the highest spec they can actually do to protect yourself if you come off a motorcycle.
So if a quick rundown on these are, is it 1.6 mil is supposed to be minimum?
Approximately 1.5, 1.6. And then it's 2 more layers on the outside, which gives you 3 layers of leather, which amounts to a lot. And in Dr. Woods' test, and actually 1 point on the elbow will last 51 seconds going down the road, which is a long, long time in one area. It'll amount to like crashing all year once a weekend, and it'll cope with that.
So really good protection from this one.
Yeah.
And see there under your hand, this is some of the padding that you actually use.
That's for the impact, not the abrasion, but what happens with this is, this goes inside the suit, like that, and that is fixed on the inside, and that actually absorbs the impact when you land on the road, and it works absolutely superbly, along with the leather. But the combination of the 3 layers of leather, the impact absorber, the combination of the 3 work absolutely brilliantly together.
And so, and you fit this, as we can see, shoulder pads, elbow.
Three layers of leather on the inside of the shoulder, which stops it abrasing through in a quick time, and then this absorbs the impact. Prices vary. You can start off with a suit which is fully lined, all ready to ride, from $475 upwards to $1,475, depending on how much you want to spend. We will tell you what to have on safety, but as far as the gimmicky bits and the lettering and the design, that's entirely up to the customer.
Another leathers manufacturer, equally well known perhaps, MW, which is Mike Willis's company. Mike, your leathers, you've got a terrific range here. This CE clothing thing has caused a fair bit of confusion, but what's your view on it? A good thing or a bad thing?
It's a good thing in general. The fact that people can actually have a set of leathers made to a standard that you have to adhere to has got to be good for the manufacturing side.
Yeah. And so for the guy in the street, which you unkindly call the punter, don't you? But nevertheless, at least he does know that he is getting a standard.
Absolutely, yeah.
You've got some padding down here, and I see it's got the magic mark on it, the CE marking.
Yep.
What can you tell us about this piece? What's this made of?
I'm not sure of the actual compound of the material, but what it's made of is very supple, and it moves and bends and shapes itself to the body. And the more you wear it, when it absorbs the heat of the body, it becomes more supple. So it's very comfortable to wear. And the leather, the abrasion side, is taken care of by the leather, as you can probably see from this.
So that looks after the impact absorption.
That's right.
Yeah, and then the leather does the rest.
That's right.
Yeah, this leather suit that you've got here, this was one of your customers who came a tumble?
Yeah, that's one of my old sets of leathers. That's about 8 years old, and it came back for repair and a little bit of patching up. You can see on the sides where it's actually come down. This was a spill of about 80 miles an hour.
Well, if I just hold it up a bit, perhaps you can tell us about it. Was he okay? I should ask you first.
Yeah, he's fine, yeah. This was actually before the days of CE marking. So but you can see where the leathers wore away on the side there, but it hasn't actually penetrated through the leather. But we've always used body armour as such.
So this has that's got padding underneath it, and is that 2-3 layers?
It's 3 layers.
Tell me, I'm a vegetarian, so I have a bit of a problem with wearing leather. Don't laugh. But do you get many inquiries from vegetarians to sort of say, what should I do? Can you do anything for me or whatever?
Yes, we do get quite a few inquiries through the year. But basically, there's only one thing that's going to really look after your body, and that's leather. And it's repairable as well. Gore-Tex materials are fine, but you don't get a close fit with Gore-Tex. It's a looser fitting garment, which doesn't protect you as well.
Yeah, it just seemed a bit strange to me, sort of riding around in animal skins at the end of the 20th century. It's something we've been doing for thousands of years, isn't it?
Yeah, we started a long time ago, didn't we?
Well, we've said that CE marking can produce a confused image to people. Here we've got a whole range of suits, which I wouldn't say they're confusing, but nevertheless the buyer has got to be able to pick just what he wants out of this lot. And I have with me Mark Withy of Sisbury Leathers, and he sells loads of leathers, as you can see. Mark, perhaps you could take us through a few of these.
Most of the suits that you can see here will be off-the-peg Italian suits. From a CE point of view, most Italian suits will now be coming through with CE marked body armour in the suits. To go further than that, the Italian factories are fairly unlikely to get involved with full CE marking of their complete suits.
Do you find, just picking you up on that, do you find that it just confuse people in that it's CE marked body armour but not the suit as a whole? Has that caused some confusion?
It did do on the inception of the CE thing really towards the start of last year. Now people are fairly clear that it really is the more specialist manufacturers that are really producing an off-the-peg CE suit. The fact that the body armour is now CE marked is a little bit more relevant to them. They're understanding that what's retained in the suits is marked, not the suits themselves. So it's getting a bit clearer. I think in the long run it has to be a good thing because it's making the manufacturers make more of an effort with the products that they're producing, and it possibly will mean that there may be less manufacturers in the future because of the lengths that they have to go to make a quality product. So at the end of the day, now that most of the confusion is over, I think it's probably a good thing.
JTS Leathers is another name that you've all seen in the motorcycle press, and Simon Hall is their sales manager. Simon, you've got a hell of a range of leathers here. Would it be true to say your sort of leathers are more of the sort of fashion leathers? They're not actually designed as CE full protection suits?
Although our leathers, for the most part, don't carry any CE protection or haven't been tested in this country, it's not really true to say they're not sort of fashion leathers. They are made for the bikes, although they're aimed at the prices people want to pay. People have a budget, most people's budget, sort of around the sort of £120 mark.
Yeah, and so you meet the need of someone who wants some protection, but they know what they're buying, they're not confused, they know what they're getting, and you're happy with that setup?
Yeah, bikers know what they want. Yeah. Unless they're a first-time biker, when we can give them the sort of expert knowledge from our part, but most people know what they want.
So just to give some example, what are you actually doing here today? Give us an example of a suit. Is this part of a two-piece suit?
It's a two-piece suit, but we sell them as separates.
Yeah.
So people can choose a jacket that fits, choose the trousers that fit. Doesn't matter if you're in old shape, and it all zips together like a proper two-piece suit.
Yeah, and that's a popular thing for a lot of touring and sports riders. So how are you finding the salopettes? Are they still popular? I mean, with touring riders, they used to be very popular.
Yes, still are. Yeah, especially with the sort of older biker, which there are a lot of now.
Yeah. So the Germans were very keen on it as well, weren't they? And you had this big bulging beer gut.
It covers the beer gut quite nicely. Yeah.